would you want a chicken-proof umbrella? To use when the weather is foul.
A zillion stories in every deck.
Adventure Cards!
Hey kids, welcome back to Adventure Cards Kids TV. I'm your host, Richard Rosser, inventor of Adventure Cards. And behind the camera is my trusty sidekick, Sparky. Say hi, Sparky. Are you ready for part 3 of our ABCs extravaganza? Today, it's the letters R through Z. Let's get started. Oh, right, Sparky. I forgot my adventure vest. I put on my adventure vest when I'm ready to create an adventure. It has lots of pockets where I keep my adventure cards. Sparky and I prepared a special deck of adventure cards just for this episode. Then we hid the cards in one of the pockets of my adventure vest. Can you guess which pocket? Do you think it's this pocket right here? Let's see. Nope, those are animals. What about this pocket? Those are objects. Oh, Sparky says he thinks they're in this pocket right here. Do you think he's right? Let's see. Nope, those are places. Oh, are they in this pocket? No, that pocket's empty. Well, do you think I put the cards in a secret pocket of my vest? Let's see. Right here is a secret pocket, and those are the cards that we specially picked just for this episode. Now, do you know what's special about these cards? They're all arranged in alphabetical order. There's animals, objects, and places. Do you know what alphabetical order means? Sparky says he knows. All right, let's hear. No, Sparky, that's numerical order. 1, 2, 3, 4 is numerical order. Alphabetical order is by the alphabet. A, B, C, D. Every single one of these cards starts with a letter of the alphabet, starting with A, then B, and then C. And we're gonna play a game. Here's how the game works. I'm gonna act out each card using sound, motion, or detail. You try and guess the card. Remember, each animal, object, and place starts with the next letter of the alphabet. If you guess correctly, you score points. Are you ready for the letter R? Let's pick a card. This card is a place. I'm going to use 3 details to describe the place. Are you ready? Colors in sky. Do you know the place? Oh, Sparky guessed a sunset. Do you think that's correct? Well, let's see. A sunset has colors in sky. But wait a second. Sunset starts with the letter S, and this place starts with the letter R. Let me say the details one more time. Ready? Colors in sky. And it starts with the letter R. Did you guess a rainbow? If you guessed a rainbow, that's correct, and you score a point. What did the rainbow say to the pot of gold? You'll be the end of me. What do you call a magician wearing a rainbow-colored suit? Houdini. A pilot flew through a rainbow on his flight test. He passed with flying colors. What's the sound of a rainbow laughing? Hue, hue, hue. What are some other details we could use to describe a rainbow? Well, in some stories or legends, there's a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. We could say something like gold at end. Oh, that's a great one. And also, what color are rainbows? Well, rainbows are every color in the rainbow. They're red through purple. Those are some other words we could use to describe our rainbow. No two people see the exact same thing when looking at a rainbow, because what you see depends on how the light is being bent and reflected back to you. Double rainbows happen when the light reflects off water droplets into the air more than once. Rainbows are made up of 7 colors that come from light: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Rainbows can be seen where there are water droplets in the air and light shining from behind. There's actually a rare moon rainbow called a moonbow that appears from the light of the moon. We're ready for the next card, and it starts with the letter S. This card is an animal. Oh, I'm going to use sound to act out this animal. You ready? Sparky, no, it's not a flat tire. First of all, a flat tire is an object, not an animal, and tire starts with the letter T, not the letter S. This animal starts with the letter S. Let me make the sound again. See if you can guess. Ready? Can you guess the animal? Did you guess a snake? If you guessed a snake, that's correct, and you score a point. What's another way that we could act out a snake? What about motion? What kind of motion does a snake make? Oh, well, a snake sort of slithers through the grass, right? Oh, that would be a good motion for a snake. What about describing a snake with details? How does a snake move? Oh, snakes slither and slide, or they slither through grass. Those are some great details we could use to describe the motion of a snake. Now, what are some other words that we could use to describe a snake? Well, snakes are long and they don't have any legs. So we could say something like long, no legs. Or if it was a rattlesnake, we could say rattle to warn. Oh, those are some fantastic details we could use to describe our snake. Snakes don't have eyelids, so they don't have to worry about blinking in photos. Unlike people, snakes' ears are inside their head. They hear by sensing vibrations. Snakes molt, meaning they shed their skin, almost 3 times a year. Snakes' nostrils are mostly just for breathing. They smell by flicking their tongue. Why did the snake laugh really hard? She heard a joke that was hysterical. What do you call a snake that builds things? A boa constrictor. What do you call a snake that only eats dessert? A python. What's a snake's favorite subject? History. We'll be back with the letter T after this ad.
Adventure cards.
If you're bored, go to the playground. You can play with swing and slide and monkey bars. The playground will make you happy.
Moving on to the letter T. And this card is also an animal. I'm going to use details to describe this card. Ready? Orange, black, stripes. Could you guess the card? Oh, Sparky says he thinks it's a traffic cone. No, Sparky, it's not a traffic cone. I know traffic cone starts with the letter T, but a traffic cone is an object, not an animal. This card is an animal. Let me describe the animal again. See if you can guess. Ready? Black, orange, stripes. Did you guess a tiger? If you guessed a tiger, that's correct, and you score a point. What do you get when you cross a tiger with a sheep? A stripy sweater. If a 4-legged animal is called a quadruped and a 2-legged animal is a biped, what's a tiger called? A striped. What is striped and bouncy? A tiger on a pogo stick. What do tigers wear to sleep? Stripy pajamas. What's another way that we could act out a tiger? Well, what about sound? What sort of sound do you think a tiger makes? Something like meow, meow. Does that sound like a tiger sound? I don't know. You tell me. What about motion? What sort of motion do you think a tiger makes? Well, tigers sneak up on their prey, so they might do something like this. Does that look like a tiger? Let me see you try the motion. Ready? And go. All right, that looks like a tiger. Tigers don't just roar. They also growl, hiss, moan, and chuff, which is kind of a sharp puff sound. Tigers have white spots on the backs of their ears that look like eyes to prevent attacks from behind. A group of tigers is known as an ambush or streak. A baby tiger is called a cub. A mama tiger is called a tigress. And a papa tiger is called, well, a tiger. Are you ready for the next card? It's the letter U. This card is an object. I'm going to use motion to act out this object. Ready? Do you know the object? Can you guess? Oh, Sparky says he thinks I'm flying a kite. But that doesn't look right. If I was flying a kite, I'd be holding the string more at an angle. Let me show you the motion again and see if you can guess the object. Do you know the object? Oh, Sparky says he thinks I'm raising a flag. Well, that's also a good guess, but it's still not right. Let me add to the motion and see if that helps. Ready? Do you know the object? Did you guess an umbrella? If you guessed an umbrella, that's correct, and you score a point. What's another way that we could act out an umbrella? Oh, we could use details to describe an umbrella. Well, what does an umbrella do? An umbrella keeps you dry. Oh, those are 3 words we could use to describe our umbrella. Keep you dry. And what does an umbrella look like? Well, an umbrella has a handle, and it has ribs that hold the fabric, and a lot of times the fabric is made out of nylon. So we could use handle, ribs, nylon to describe an umbrella. Over 33 million umbrellas are sold in the US each year, especially on rainy days. Modern day umbrellas are coated with Teflon, which makes them waterproof. There are many nicknames for umbrellas, including bumbershoot and brawly. Umbrellas aren't just used when it rains. Some people use umbrellas to shade them from the sun. Why does Santa have such a big umbrella? Because all of the rain, dear. Oh, that's terrible. When does a detective carry an umbrella? When he's undercover. Why would you want a chicken-proof umbrella? To use when the weather is foul. What do you call Paddington without an umbrella? A drizzly bear. It's time for the letter V. Let's pick a card. This card is also an object. I'm going to use sound to act out this object. Here we go. Can you guess the object? Oh, Sparky thinks it's a piano. No, a piano wouldn't sound that bad. A piano would sound something like dun, 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 dun. That sounds much better, right? This instrument is really hard to play. Let me make the sound again. See if you can guess. Ready? Did you guess the instrument? Did you guess a violin? If you guessed a violin, that's right, and you score a point. What's another way that we could act out a violin? What about motion? What sort of motion would we use to play a violin? Would it go something like this? No, that's a piano, right, Sparky? We'd use a motion something like this. Right? I'm holding the violin against my chin, and I'm using a bow to play the violin. Does that look like I'm playing a violin? Let me see you try the motion. Ready? And go. Oh, I can almost hear the violin with my ears. Let's think of some details we could use to describe a violin. Well, let's see. A violin is made out of wood. It has strings, and you use a bow to play it. So we could say wood, strings, bow. Those are some great details we could use to describe a violin. How do you know the difference between a violinist and a dog? The dog knows when to stop scratching. How can you tell if a violin is out of tune? The bow is moving. A violin is the smallest main instrument in the string family. Violin strings were first made out of sheep gut. The most expensive violin in the world is worth about $18 million. The next letter is W. This card is a place. I'm going to use details to describe this place. Here we go. River, over, cliff. Can you guess the place? Oh, Sparky says it's a lake, but that doesn't sound right. First of all, Sparky, lake starts with the letter L. This is the letter W. Well, let's think for a second. Where does a river go over a cliff? And what kind of water is there when it's going over the cliff? Oh, did you guess a waterfall? If you guessed a waterfall, that's correct, and you score a point. Yesterday, I drove past a billboard promoting Niagara Falls as the tallest waterfall in the world. Turns out it was just falls advertising. What happens when water trips over? Waterfall. The roar from a waterfall can be heard 25 miles away. Boulders often swirl around the base of a waterfall, wearing out a deep plunge pool. Waterfalls are formed where a river flows over a band of hard rock, like a cliff. Waterfalls are used to generate hydroelectric power. We'll be back with the letter X after this ad.
Adventure cards.
Are you tired of throwing the ball and it not coming back to you? Get the boomerang. When you throw it, it comes right back. The Boomerang gets one today!
Do you know the next letter in the alphabet? That's right, it's the letter X. This card is an object. Oh, this one's going to be kind of tough. I think I'm going to use motion to act out this object. Here we go. Can you guess the object? It is, it's kind of tough. Oh, Sparky says it looks like I'm playing a drum. Well, it's not a drum, but it is a percussion instrument. Remember, it's a percussion instrument that starts with the letter X. Can you guess what the instrument is? Let me play it again and see if you can guess. Did you guess a xylophone? If you guessed a xylophone, that's correct, and you score a point. The xylophone has often been used as the sound effect in cartoons for a skeleton. The xylophone is a member of the percussion family of instruments. Bars of the xylophone are created with different lengths, which produce different sounds. Shorter xylophone bars produce high notes, and longer xylophone bars produce lower notes. Here we go with the second to the last card. Do you know the letter? That's right, it's the letter Y. This card is also an object. I'm going to use details to describe this object. You see if you can guess. Ready? Wood, round, spinning. Can you guess the object? No, Sparky, it's not a pinwheel. A pinwheel is made of paper or plastic, and a pinwheel starts with the letter P. This object starts with the letter Y. Let me describe it again. Ready? Round, wood, spinning. Can you guess the object? Did you guess a yo-yo? If you guessed a yo-yo, that's right, and you score a point. What kind of motion would I make if I was going to act out a yo-yo? Well, let's see. First of all, you hold a yo-yo in your hand, and you tie the string from the yo-yo around one of your fingers. Then, you release the yo-yo down, the string catches, and it comes back up. So, if I was going to make the motion of a yo-yo, it might go something like this. Does that look like I'm making the motion of a yo-yo? I think so. Let me see you try playing with a pretend yo-yo. Ready? And go. Oh, great! It really looks like you're playing with a yo-yo. Fantastic! What makes the sound buzz, zub, buzz, zub? A bee stuck in a yo-yo. What did the yo-yo say to the other yo-yo when he saw him on the street? Yo! In order to get this next joke, you have to know that there's a yo-yo trick called walking the dog. Why did the yo-yo cross the street? Because he was walking the dog. Yo-yos are the second oldest toy behind the doll. Yo-yos won't work without a string. One of the most fun toy names to say is yo-yo. Here we go with the final letter of our ABC's extravaganza. The letter is Z. This card is a place. I'm going to use sound to act out my place. Ready? Roar. Can you guess the place? Oh, Sparky thinks it's a jungle. But no, Sparky, this isn't a jungle. This place starts with the letter Z. Jungle starts with the letter J. So let me make the sounds again and see if you can guess the place. Ready? Roar. Did you guess the place? Did you guess a zoo? If you guessed a zoo, that's right, and you score a point. Let's think of some details we could use to describe a zoo. Well, let's think. What is a zoo? It's a place where animals live. Oh, we could say where animals live, or go see animals. Those are some details we could use to describe a zoo. Many zoos take donated Christmas trees and use them to feed their animals. A boy named Christopher Robin Milne often visited a bear cub named Winnipeg at the London Zoo. His father created Winnie the Pooh. Zoos help raise money for animal conservation. Why don't they play cards in the zoo? Too many cheetahs. What do you call a place where the animals practice martial arts a jujitsu. There's only one place you can find exotic animals, zoo or false. Did you hear about the party at the zoo in China? It was pandemonium. Thanks for joining Sparky and me for part 3 of our ABCS extravaganza. Do you know what time it is now? No, Sparky, it's not time for part 4. We've gone through every single letter of the alphabet. No, it's time for an alphabet search. As you go out into the world, keep an eye out for words that begin with the letters R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. That's it for this episode of Adventure Cards Kids TV. I'll see you soon. Oh, and so will Sparky.
A zillion stories in every deck.